What's up, you guys? Bet you weren't expecting this fucking video. So look, Prop Gear kind of died. And we are very sorry about that. But the truth is that so many life changes came on at the same time that the show became unsustainable. So if you're here watching now, I'm incredibly grateful that you subscribed in the first place. We are so sorry that the show died, but it is what it is. I had a baby and started a new job. Petrol
had 2 babies
and started a new job. Mamba had a job and started a new job, and things were just transforming, and Prop Gear took a lot of time and a lot of work. We really loved what we built, but it had to die, unfortunately. But here we are. I am going to release to the public the bits that we were able to produce for episode 3 but never released. I guess I could take this opportunity to say that if you liked the format, please just drop a comment or a like below. If you think maybe we should have started a Patreon to make this more sustainable for the people that were making the show, let us know in the comments. Really, the only way that the show could continue is if someone picked us up and there was some sort of corporate backing. Maybe someone like Rotor Riot or Get FPV, or any other big brand entity or shop that wants to have a show where we could showcase products and place advertisements and stuff like that. That was our intention from the beginning, but it never came to fruition. I don't know. Thanks again for being here and for watching. If you were a fan from the beginning, you are the best. Without further ado, here is what we came up with for Prop Gear Episode 3. You don't know anything!
You are.
You are starting it off right with the UI. Get up here with the UI. I don't care what I am, you fucking UI. Did you guys know that we are rolling?
You are.
You are.
Got you, didn't I?
Is that not? That's the best thing I've ever come up with. Yeah, I came up with the concept of I'm not, you are. I'm going to take credit for that.
I totally agree. It is the best thing you've ever done.
I got it from Reddit, because that's how everyone is on Reddit. You are.
So that is the best thing he has ever done.
Yep.
Yeah. I was trying to make that point, and it just kept blowing over his head, man. Or it kept brushing it off, one or the other.
It's better than my baby, my marriage. It's better than performing in Carnegie Hall, which I did, by the way. It's better than winning an Ivy Award, which I did. It's better than winning national video competitions. What else can I brag about? Let's make myself...
Is this the Bad Luck Show?
Oh my God, I have a gold record and 1,700 TV placements. Let's move forward.
Now, Mamba, it's your turn to brag.
I am part of a show called Prop Gear TV, and it's fucking awesome.
Son of a bitch.
And that's all I got, man.
You are.
You are.
Okay, so let's get this show on the road. Welcome, viewers, to episode 3 of Prop Gear. I'll try that again. Welcome, viewers, to episode 3 of Prop Gear TV's Community Spotlight. We're going to handpick some videos from the community that we've enjoyed in the last couple months and show them to you and make you enjoy them too. And later on, we're going to get to the judging of the competition, but not after we see what's up with Bubby FPV and do a trick breakdown. We're going to see interviews from the likes of Zulu from Mr. T.
Not Zulu.
Not Zulu. He's gonna break the show.
He's gonna break the internet with the show. That's what he's gonna do.
Yeah, he is.
Anyway, we've got a lot of great things lined up for you guys. Let's kick it off with the community spotlight. Mr. T, do you have a video for us?
I don't have one. I have 2. And this pilot, I'm picking him partially because I'm a Japanese anime fan, and his FPV name is a major villain in one of my favorite animes. And there's a YouTube guy called Anime Balls Deep. It's a group of guys, and they do reviews of anime. They only say this character's name one way, and ever since they've said it that way, that's the only way I know how to say that name. So we are looking at Jigen because you have to say it that way.
Who?
Yeah, who?
I didn't even understand the name. You got to do that bit again, man.
Just watching that. You guys
Come on, Mr. T, you got this, bro. You just bring out that inner anime.
Jigen.
Chicken.
Jigen. I don't.
Yeah.
You understood it that time. It was perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
Well, we think it's perfect.
One of my favorite songs ever.
Oh, we can't hear the audio.
What?
No, we can't hear the audio. No.
Well, piss on the shit on my dick.
That's a bit.
That's
too
a
much information.
statement right there. Piss on the shit on my dick. Only you would come out with something like that, Steve. It's a good job your fucking dwarf porn weren't in the top right-hand corner, isn't it?
Oh my god. Let me Google the problem. How to clean penis poop.
What's going on, guys? On this week's episode of Prop Gear, we learn how to clean penis.
Oh my god.
It's come to our attention over the last couple weeks that the FPV community has a bad reputation for dirty penises.
So he comes in with this clean line through the arch, and then it just goes bonkers after that.
It is one of my favorite songs ever. Do I Want to Know by the Arctic Monkeys. Okay.
Oh, that's a move that I do. Oh, that was a roll and a half into a half matty.
Yep.
Wind that back. Oh, you can't wind it back, can you? We have to watch it again.
Yeah, we'll watch it again after we do.
Again.
Oh my
Holy shit!
Horizon locked inverted yacht. Okay, wow.
Just for
oh
the
my
record,
god.
yeah, it's just an inverted yaw, but that proximity. Holy shit,
Yeah.
man.
Okay, I see you,
Gentlemen,
chicken.
you are welcome.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is the hot tip.
Holy
And it's
shit, man.
blindly into the gap.
Oh, dude.
Okay, we'll watch it again.
In the beginning again.
Yeah. That is well worth it.
Because you were celebrating another trick and you missed one.
Right
No,
here
I did
it
not.
says enough games.
Time to react on all of them.
It's the wall tap to a Matty that
Seen
he
it?
does.
Yeah, I seen it through the door. Look at that, man. Holy shit.
I love that
Are you
trick. I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah, watch this now. Here we go.
Oh, that was nasty. This right here.
And that
Look at that.
must be, man. Bam. See ya.
Wow.
That is one of the styliest things I've ever seen. And then starting the next clip off with a precision power loop. Wow.
You see, I'm watching this video, right, and a lot of people get frustrated because they can't learn these tricks. But what you got to understand is, guys, you need a place like this. If
Yeah.
you've got a place like this, man, you have just got like endless amounts of fucking tricks you can do. But to nail it with the precision, if you look at what he's doing, he's keeping a perfect centre line down the straight of that building. Yeah. And he's hitting everything and coming out on that line every time, man. It's fucking insane.
That's the biggest thing. So you got to come out on the line.
Right.
Yeah, man. Look at that.
I love that he starts it off in a smooth, kind of cinematic way, goes into the power loop, and then just says, "Fuck it, let's go."
Yeah. I love a video that shows range like that for sure. It definitely is about getting a spot too, because I realized that recently that like it unlocks something in you to be in a place this, inspirational. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It creates opportunities for you. There's plenty of, well, I know it's a bit of a fucking play with words, but there's plenty of fucking doors to go through, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I love that.
Hey, that was insane. That was like, Mr. T, let me tell you, that's for you for picking that video, man. That's fucking incredible.
My claps for Jigen for crushing that spot, because it is true also that it's not just about the spot. You got to bring the heat. And
God, yeah.
Jigen brought the heat.
So, on to video number 2 from Mr. Jigen.
Yep.
Yeah.
More Jigen. Let's just get right into it. Here it goes. Federico Boda, is this the same guy?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
Rewind, Maddie? Yes, please.
Oh, that's like a trippy pass, that is.
Mm,
That was pretty sick.
He's got that spang.
that's it.
Oh,
That was hot.
yeah. I wouldn't quite call that spang. That's a different kind of spang right there. That's like, I don't know how to explain that, but
It's
sick.
rewind style, I think, is what people call it.
It's
Man. Mm.
it's aggressive and smooth at the same time, which is like really hard to accomplish. You know?
He knows where that quad is all the time. You can
Yeah.
tell.
You can
He's got
tell
it going.
like, he may have a bunch of different quads, but that's his favorite.
Oh, G Ken, this is for you, buddy. Cheers.
Yes, cheers, Jigen. Everybody who's watching right now, please go to Jigen's Instagram and Jigen's YouTube. We'll provide links. They should either be down here, or if you're watching this live, then we'll post them in the chat. But follow Jigen.
Yes, please do.
I'm gonna do that right now.
All right, who's next?
Next, I will share with you a guy that I've been following for a while, and I really just love his style of content. He doesn't just post videos. He's often talking a lot about his life, and in this specific video, he brings us to one of the most amazing bandos I have ever seen. The pilot / artist's name is Ronnie King FPV, and this video is called "This Place Kills Drones Like Nothing Else Does."
Let's get it.
All right.
Press and play.
Oh, straight in with that fucking smashing your quad up. That's my kind of pilot right there.
5 stories down.
Oh my God.
At least it's down. Come on.
That's true.
Yeah.
No damage. Let's go.
Must be a kin.
He brought out the toothbrush.
Oh
Hey,
man,
she's
you gotta
back.
have a in your bag.
Here he goes. He's about to shred.
Oh my God.
Look at this
That's
spot.
it, right. Oh, he made that look like the roof was the floor. That was crazy.
Ooh, broke the GoPro right away.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That was thirsty. God, my mind would go absolutely insane being in
That was a
this spot.
screen protector. He changed it. Look, he's changed it. It's not broken.
Yeah,
Or
it's a
maybe-
screen protector.
See, I love that line right there. Huge power
Oh,
loop up into the arc of the ceiling.
It looks like he
Yeah,
tapped
right
the
in the
ceiling,
ceiling.
too.
Huh? What'd you say, T?
No.
It looks like he tapped the ceiling on that loop.
Did you guys see that gap?
Yeah. I just wish
Through the
he'd
rail?
carry on through it and see a little bit more after the gap.
I think maybe he was shook after that because
I think so, yeah. Definitely.
The reason I
But-
like this guy is because I see a lot of myself in his flow, and if he's anything like me, if he hit that gap on accident, then after on the sticks he was like
Oh,
Oh, look at that. Nice. I like them little mistakes, man. Happy accidents.
yep.
He's got his power loops dialed. I'm liking his throttle out of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
definitely.
nice and smooth.
Oh,
I can't stop my head doing this when I'm watching fucking FPV. I can't. I'm like Stevie Wonder.
oh. That's what they
I've
call
gotten a
it.
little bit better at it. Oh,
Oh,
oh, but he like
No.
bounced his off thing.
That was like, he must have just caught his battery. It must be a bottom mount or something.
Cracked again.
That's another one of those.
Same crack. That's the edit.
Just missed the puddle. That was almost bad.
Just
Oh,
Nice. Dude, that guy's crazy, man. I like that kind of flying. Just like, don't give a fuck. If I pull it off, awesome. If I crash, I don't care. Do it again next week. Awesome, dude.
yes.
Yeah,
And
and
I just wanted to show you a little bit his Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Especially this video right here, because one of the reasons that I like him and it's easy to connect with him is the description in this post right here. Went for a really relaxing and refreshing session yesterday and had this intense moment of inner peace during golden hour. Nothing could stop me. Nothing could break my flow or focus. It was perfect. Full video on YouTube. And I love people who are willing to put themselves out here in this way. He's got a big following already, and he definitely deserves it. But everybody who's watching right now, find Ronnie King FPV. Find him on YouTube. Find him on Instagram. He's definitely earned the follow, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Well, that's a passionate statement. That is right there. That shows that he likes what he does, and to get anywhere in this game, you got to fucking enjoy it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta basically, give yourself 100% when you're in the moment, because if you don't, and your mind is elsewhere, it shows in your flying.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter that at what level you're at in flying. I used to go out and go. I'd have a flyer pack, and my heart was racing. I was so fucking excited, like, oh, wait to watch the fucking videos, and I watch it. I'm like, that don't look very good, but that's because of the moment you was in. That's what matters, man. The video after that don't matter. That doesn't matter. It's what you felt at that time.
And then over time, those two things, those two worlds will meet, and you'll have both. You'll be comfortable with staying in the moment and flying just for the joy of it, and also, sort of subconsciously being like, this will look good on video. This will make me happy again later when I'm watching this back, because that's what you always love to have, at least from my perspective. That's what you want. Yeah. There are two things. There are flights that are for yourself, and then there are flights that are sort of for everyone. And I love creating that joy and spreading it with people. Also, the validation. And long story short, Ronnie King, I think, melds those two things really well.
Yep.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Good shit, man. Yeah, Ronnie fucking King.
You just gave him his new ringtone.
It sounds like an English gangster, to be fair. All right, Ronnie King. Coming down the old fucking boozer, son.
This is not the movie Snatch.
There you go. Snatch,
I was going to say Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah.
Bullet Tooth Tony.
Can everybody stop getting fucking shot?
All right.
So, guys, I came across a guy about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I watched some videos of this guy flying. I was like, holy shit, man, this is like fucking crazy. And then our boy, 8-Bit Christ, he drops a little video. Check this guy out. So I click on it. It's the guy that I seen a couple of weeks ago. And then Zulu sends me, you got to watch this. And I'm like, holy shit, this is the guy that I picked for my community spotlight, man. And like, stars were starting to align. So, Casty FPV, but it's spelled KASTYH FPV. I don't know how to pronounce it, but if you click on the link, Mr. Steve-O, that I've dropped into the chat, it will pop up anyway. But this guy's fucking insane.
14-year-old pilot from Italy.
Wow.
That juicy spang bang.
Spang.
It's super blurry. Is it blurry for everybody else?
It's blurry for me. It's like 8-bit. It's 8-bit Christ's world.
You mentioned him, and that's what they were like. Oh, that's what you want your internet to be? All right.
8-bit Christ, you broke our internet today. I'm watching this guy on my phone right now. It's playing. It's crazy. Let's go.
Casti, he calls this one Aerial Breakdance 1. Let's hit it.
All right.
That quad is screaming.
It looks like it's crying.
Look at that. Direction change is just phenomenal and on point. Rewind just for days.
Oh my god. People who can do this are something else, bro.
And he's so low to the ground.
Crazy.
You said 14, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Woo!
Yeah. Jeez.
It's not very often you see someone like this, guys. Oh, there's a lot of people out there doing it, but this is the next level. This is, man. This is like
this
computer game. This is stuff you do. Yeah.
Wow, he said full video on YouTube. You got me, bruh. Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's do it.
And see, it looks like he was about to chase the car, and he's like, "Nope, rewind."
No, rewind. He hit you with a boom.
Look at that, man. I just love how. Look at see that? Dick, dick. Woo! That's crazy. I love
didn't
it.
know quads can do that.
How? Well, that combo right there was insane.
It's a very dialed quad. Look at that.
Yeah, you can tell. You can only fly like this with a dialed quad. I mean, I love piloting and I love, you know, like my flying style, but I can't tune a quad, so I'll never be able to fly like this. What a beautiful spot.
And it gives me a feeling, just watching this gives me a feeling of fucking euphoria. Crazy.
Yeah, this is really
Look at that. Look at him looking at it. He's looking at the freaking grass while he's doing it. What the hell?
He definitely just like, this dude is in love with his rates and knows when, you know, like when his motors are pointed down and he can provide upward thrust. The screen could be full of grass and he'd still know when he can thrust and when not. Just one of those people that's just like, you know,
he's doing the move in his head before it even gets to his sticks.
Exactly, exactly. This is all
man, and that horizon, the horizon line,
and the person are one.
Yeah,
that's what's happening right here.
I really
Him and the quad are one.
What camera angle he's at? It seems kind of low, because a lot of his like faster moves are accompanied by like flick forwards.
But that yaw spin that he's doing is not flat. The quad isn't flat when he's making that yaw spin. He's pitching forward and he's using his throttle to get around that by the look of it.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
I may be wrong.
That was sick.
Oh man.
I'm just more blown about how low he is when he does some of these tricks. Like even one of them, the dust came up off the ground.
Yeah,
so
that's
low.
what I was just gonna say. Like, how many tricks in a row can you throw and then land and the thrust kicks dust off the ground? Like that's some shit.
Do you know what gets me? That right there. So he'll come out of a crazy fucking S-bang into locked zero fucking stick input, and the inertia alone will just carry him forward in a dead straight line. And that is fucking beautiful.
That last one might have been battery sag. Subscribe.
Beautiful, man.
Crazy. That was crazy.
Hitting the bell. Thumbs up.
I think that we have just pulled out one of the best community spotlights so far for pilot skills and fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty fucking good, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy that. Everybody who's watching right now, find PetrolFPV. Sorry if we're pronouncing your name wrong. And get him on both YouTube and Instagram. He deserves it.
Oh, yeah, he deserves it. It's like this is the next generation right here. You're going to be seeing a lot of these people. You'll be seeing them in a few years, and you're going to be looking up to them, I think, as well.
I think so too. I mean, we're literally watching the birth of the next batch of leaders in FPV. Really, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because some of these young guys are just insane. None of that made any sense to me.
But like, it's really cool to see what the newer generation has with this like advanced start. You know what I mean? And that's a perfect example of like, it looks good. Like the future of the hobby is looking good.
It is looking good. Now, if you put it into perspective as well, we didn't have what they had, and we have come to this level right now. Now they've started off with next level. Imagine what the next generation's going to be.
Right.
Well, you know what's interesting too is like I talked to Bubby and I asked him about his rates and everything he has set up. He's like, "Oh, all my rates are super low," and I was like, "Really? Like,
really low?"
He's like, "They're really low." Watch you find out. You ask this guy, and you're like, "What are you using? Emu, Beta Flight, Flight 1?" He's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm using Clean Flight, like just something old." And it's just gonna shock everybody that It's simple.
It's funny that we bring up MambaFPV because I caught up with him recently to talk about his trick theory and go over one of my favorite tricks with him. I would like to play for you his video called Gone. Have you guys seen this video?
I have not, which is good.
It
Natural reaction time. That's a real clean video, actually. You've got the quality of the feed on point now, Steve, for a change.
You son of a bitch. Oh!
Oh, nice. And you, see, this is what I like about Bubby. When he comes out of something super tight like that, he is still fucking locked, dialed, and moving. You know he's going for every gap he goes for.
This is one of the things I'm going to have to talk to him about because his gaps seem so calculated, but at the same time, he links together so many that in my head, it seems impossible that he could think it all out.
Yeah.
But, you know, never underestimate someone because, like, it's all very calculated. He's just that good.
Never underestimate a teenager, dude.
I'm telling you.
These kids.
Expected.
They out here. Just crushing shit.
I was expecting him to do a slide down one of the slides.
I think he tries it in another video, and it seems like the slides are too sticky.
Yeah, a lot of them are dirty. So for the people who don't know, this is a abandoned water park out here in SoCal, just outside of LA, and it recently went up for auction. So the reason why you're seeing so many videos from all these different pilots, and of course I think Bubby and Slaytech I think crushed these videos.
And Jeebus.
Oh my God, Jeebus destroyed this. Is because it went up for auction and it's sold. So pretty soon this will actually get torn down.
Oh, that's bad, man. What a shame.
Yeah. Oh, he just missed the wire.
How can you stay calm?
I need to say something. Please be quiet. So, imagine if someone came along with some money and just an FPV god with loads of dosh, steel, make it fucking happen. Go buy this fucking place, man. Just keep it running. How sick would it be? Butt grinder, if you're watching this, which you probably fucking will be because we are awesome and so are you, go buy this water park, man. Let's do this shit. You know we've spoke about this before, man. We're going to put that cardboard cut-up of you in the doorway, bro. Let's do it, man.
Everyone knows bot grinders swimming in that quad money by this spot.
Yeah, and well, there's another thing I was going to say. Have you noticed that Mr. Bubby has not made a corrective move yet?
Not a single one.
Not one?
Well, haven't you noticed that this is still the same pack?
Yeah?
No, he did a transition before.
Oh, did it?
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Transitioned. But yeah, man, it's there's a long time of flying with not a lot of corrective moves, and that's nice to see.
And
refreshing.
I think that the corrective moves are there, but he's just so smooth.
He's so good at hiding them and moving to something else, yeah.
Yeah.
That it turns it into non-corrective. No, look. That's the corrective move I was talking about. Perfect timing, man.
Yeah, we're done.
So you are human, Bubby. You are human.
Anyway, I caught up with Bubby so that he could break down for us the way that he approaches one of my favorite tricks, the precision power loop. This is how it went. Welcome to the office, everybody. Joining me today, we have MambaFPV. Welcome to the show, Bubby. How you doing?
Hey man, thanks for having me. I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Not bad at all. I'm talking to one of my favorite pilots in FPV right now, so I'm pretty happy. The first question I wanted to ask you is, are you sponsored by Scott, and when are you going to do vlogs with, like, face makeup tattoos?
Oh my gosh, it's funny. I am not sponsored by Scott, although it would be cool. Oh my gosh. I need to do that video now. Yeah. I'll have face stuff all over my face next time.
I wanted to say a big congrats about becoming the youngest Rotor Riot pilot and getting added to the Rotor Riot team. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You absolutely deserve it. I watched your vlogs at Rampage. I watched when you did the, what was that, the Red Cat Holdings?
NASDAQ.
The NASDAQ video, and you were in Times Square. You've been all over the place, man. Things seem to be going really good for you. It's good to see.
Thanks. It's really crazy just how much, like, stuff has happened in the last year, because this time last year I wasn't flying too much just because of school and stuff, but now my life is just basically drones, a little bit of school, drones.
That's the dream, man. It's so cool to see. It's really cool. So I picked a trick that I really want to break down with you, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that with your flow, it's kind of hard to pick a single trick, because lately your videos have been so much about stringing gap combos together, and it's hard to nail down a single technical trick. I had this same problem with F-Core. I just wanted to ask you, when you're making the videos that you end up posting, do you really put yourself into a mindset where you're like, okay, this is the video take, so after doing all of the exploration takes, these are the gaps that I want to include, because it seems like you have a 3D map of these spaces in your brain, and you're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is the next 6 things that I'm going to do, and you just link them together seamlessly. I'll stop presuming anything, and you maybe just tell me a little bit about your process.
Well, so I guess my process when I'm going to a new spot is I'll just like take 5 batteries and just fly it and see what comes naturally to me, because usually what comes naturally to me is going to be the easiest stuff that I can just know I can fall back on, like in a line, and then I'll always like have one trick in mind or one really small gap that I know I want to hit. So when I'm going to making the actual lines for the video, I'll do the stuff that comes naturally, and then I'll try to link a really small gap or a precision power loop or whatever into that line. That's kind of my thinking with making lines. And also I try to set up my lines. So like the last video that I posted, it was a tribute to Sean the Don. There's this roof on the house thing, and I know I wanted to start off the line like cruising right above it, so I would just start at the base of it and then go do that, if that makes sense. Like I'm always setting up my line at the beginning, but the middle of the line is pretty free flow. If that makes sense.
Yeah, well, and it seems to me that like it comes so naturally to you to just keep things flowing, and you're so unflinching. Which one of the videos is it? It's the one where you're at the water park recently. There are so many times during your first clip where you hit these tiny gaps, and it seems like there's like ghost wires or stuff that would make me like jump and like break my flow, but you just power through it so well. Is there anything that goes into that?
Crashing. Like, so what I guess my theory of when I'm making or when I'm just flying around really tight proximity stuff is I don't want to ever flinch to move out of the way of the gap. So if I am coming straight and here's a pole or something, I am not going to move if I think I'll just clear it by like 2 millimeters or whatever. And a lot of the times what ends up happening is I clip my arm and I just crash really hard. But like in the times, like, I guess when I don't crash, it just looks really cool. So like it comes with a lot of crashing and a lot of just like committing to lines.
Commit. Yeah, that's a really good insight about just like hold the line, keep the flow. I know Drew says that a lot. Don't break the flow.
Yeah.
And that's really hard, you know, like I see it a lot when I go back and edit my videos where I'm like, oh man, all I had to do was like, I don't know, turn a little bit and I would have kept the flow, but instead you can see that I exited that line and I'm literally behind my sticks going, whoa, oh my god. But the whole time that I'm saying, whoa, oh my god, I'm just flying straight, like not floating at all. So that's a really good insight. Anyway, let's transition to the trick that I am most interested in hearing you break down and hearing your theory behind it, the precision power loop.
Precision power loops.
And when I say precision power loop, because apparently I make up names for things all the time and nobody knows what I'm talking about.
I'll do.
but what I'm talking about is when you're doing a power loop and inverted and backwards, you clear a gap. So you'll go through a gap down through the bottom, and you'll clear a gap while you're inverted and backwards. Can you tell us just a little bit about what goes into predicting that, timing that, doing it clean?
Yeah, for sure. So, like, I guess since every environment is different, what's surrounding the gap is going to be different. So I guess hitting these kind of precision power loop gaps or like blind gaps is what I'll sometimes do is I'll look at this top right corner or top left corner of my screen, and if you notice, you can still kind of see the gap in the top corners, and I can kind of just base it off of that when to stop the power loop, if that makes sense.
That makes me realize that I focus so much on what's in the center of my screen. You really gotta look up into those upper corners, and that'll give you the soonest clue about your spacing, basically.
Yeah, because you can kind of see like the corners of the gap, like not in the center. The center of the screen will be completely blind, but in the top left and right corners, you can sometimes see part of the gap, which would help you hit it.
That's where the DJI combo comes in, and this is where I'm going to struggle a little bit because I still use the EV100s. Maybe this is why I don't have this trick. I got to get rid of those trash goggles.
Or maybe you can try getting a wider lens for your camera. Like, well, right now I'm running a 2.1 millimeter lens, which is fairly narrow, but like, do you know what size lens you run?
This one's a 1.7.
Okay. Never mind, that's actually pretty wide. Because I was thinking if the lens is wider, you have like a more field of view.
Yeah.
So you may be able to see those top corners more, but I guess if your goggles is cutting it off, then it won't help too much.
So this is a piece of advice that I've given to people when they're learning how to do Immelmans. I think it might be applicable here too. It might be a method that I try. I'm going to try my best to use your method when I go out and attempt this trick, but sometimes, and I do this a lot more in the sim because you do it with risky moves, but instead of doing the blind power loop, or in the case of like an Immelman where you're turning at the top and flying away, what I'll do is I'll approach it as straight as I can. This works for Maddie's too, by the way. You turn sideways, you just yaw to the left, so you're still pitched the same direction, and then you can do the move sideways, and that allows you to see everything. It makes it a little bit more complicated to get out of it. Your method scares me because you said the word blind a lot.
Well, so that's the thing. I said blind in the sense when you're looking straight, but it's not blind when you're looking up in the corner.
Well, let's take a look at one of the examples for when you did this trick flawlessly. It's through a pretty big gap.
Yeah, this one's a pretty big gap, but the same thing applies for smaller gaps, of course.
Yeah. I will be practicing with a big gap. Maybe my challenge to myself will be doing it in smaller gaps. Let's look at the video together.
Cool.
The dulcet tones of Scott.
Scott,
sponsor Bubby.
I know, sponsor me.
There's another example of a power loop move. You do a lot of power loops to enter your tricks, or your gaps, I mean.
Yeah.
So here it is.
Okay, so right there, you can kind of see in the top left and right corners. Like, I wasn't even necessarily looking at the gap, but I knew that the beam that the top of the gap was extended really far out, if that makes sense. So I kind of lined up the gap straight before, and to get the right altitude, I was looking at one of the beams farther, if that makes sense, because in that particular spot, the beam just goes all the way across the whole level. So I know that that's the top of the particular gap I'm trying to go through.
I'm going to put it at half speed, and let's try and see if we can break that down in half time.
Cool.
So you come around this corner here.
So I've lined up the gap straight, but you can kind of see how the beam on the top of it is visible basically the whole time.
Are you constantly on throttle while you're doing this, or is there a blip that comes in at any point?
It's just different for me. Like, I'll catch myself doing full throttle the whole time. Not full throttle, but on the throttle the whole time, and then I'll also catch myself doing blips. It just kind of depends on, like, if I lined up the trick bad. For me, it's kind of, I'm all over the place with what I do it, but I catch myself doing blips of throttle when I haven't lined up the gap well. So when you're trying to power loop a gap or something, you want it to be as like circular as possible, like the loop to be very much so a circle. But if you are too high, like in the part of the circle, and you won't go through the gap, I'll give it a blip of throttle so I go through the gap, if that makes sense.
No, definitely. So in that way, you're sort of saying that at least for your flow, a blip is bad form.
Yeah.
Because it's not as smooth. But I also think you're cheating because you have a spoiler.
Oh yeah, totally. This thing, like, it's basically eyes behind your head. It's a 360 camera, basically gives you the vision of everything.
Mine's gonna be there soon.
Nice.
Because I have my bubby.FPV spoiler. Let's get some focus on that. Come on, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby. That's bubby.FPV for you right there. Pioneering the sport by adding spoilers where they
Well,
are
I gotta
not
say,
needed.
Drew did start this like in 2016, but no one picked up on it. So I'm trying to bring it back, and I've perfected the spoiler, and this file is the best one for it.
Yeah, I printed your file when I decided that I had to have one, and it's funny because my 3D printer was like, no, absolutely not, I'm not printing that. And I was like, you must. I have to get, I need my flight characteristics to be on that bubby level, and this is the only way.
The way.
This is the way. Do you have any more insight that you can think of, or can you just break it down for us one more time?
So I guess what I was saying earlier was there's kind of a bunch of different like environments, like where the gap will be placed. So let's say you have a gap and there's a roof. I will always tend to be going at the side where the roof is, mostly because I will just ride the roof, and it's way easier than like this one that we talked about earlier, because that one's more blind. With this one, you have a visual marker the entire time, which in this case is the roof. Like a good example, I guess, in my Aunt Lol video, it's like, I don't know why I titled it that, but like I guess there's a good example in there of the power loop where I'm looking at the roof to gauge where the gap is. I think it's a nighttime one.
Lol.
Lol. So it's kind of hard to like give like one tip for one trick that will work every time, because everyone's environment of where they may be learning this trick is going to be different. So like even with this trick that we're explaining right now, I already have one method of look at the gap in the top left and right corner, but it just, and in this other video we're looking at the roof to gauge where the gap is. So there's just a bunch of different tips that you can like try to use to do a trick better. So like if you have any that you know of a different way to do this power loop, precision power loop, let us know in the comments, because I'm interested in knowing other ways too.
Yeah, sound off. If you want to show us how you do it, let's say hashtag prop gear precision power loop.
And where is this power loop? I do it in there.
You imagined it.
No, I just imagined it like I never did it. Okay, I think it should be here. Okay, so you kind of see how I look at the roof when I kind of try to ride the roof. I ride the roof to get through the gap, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. So it also helps that you've been all up in this parking garage doing tricks in all sorts of different spaces, so you sort of have the throttle versus room equation mapped out in your head.
Yeah.
And then I skipped back a little bit. Hopefully I didn't skip back too far. But it looks like you lined up that gap nice and long. You eyed up this one. And since you're approaching it where when you're doing your initial curve, you're throttling up towards the ceiling so you can gauge that the whole time.
Yeah. I just try to get the top or the apex of the power loop as close to the ceiling as I can, because if I know I'm close to the ceiling, then I know I'm going through the gap, if that makes sense.
Definitely, and that also gives you more time to react when you're coming out of it too, so that's genius.
Yeah. I know I wanted to do that power loop going into the parking garage because there was a roof. Like, if I were to try to do it going out of the parking garage, there would be no roof for me to gauge. I'd have to do this thing with the corners.
Maybe that's what I'll do. I can even think of a spot now where I want to go and practice this. If you say that it's easier to do it when you're throttling up in your initial curve towards a ceiling, that will allow you to sort of gauge it a little bit better. That's sort of the easier way to do it.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's a lot easier just because it's not as blind, like you're seeing something the whole time.
So, if I had to break down my approach to this, it's think of what your line is going to be, set it up so that you have a good frame of reference, line it up straight so that you're not crooked while you're going through it.
Yeah, so like line it up straight so that you so the gap is right here. Make sure you fly straight under the gap before you do it. No, don't be coming in it sideways because then you may not go through the gap.
Yeah, it's going to give you a weird angle. This is going to be a game of throttle control, like we said before, not blipping, sort of trying to do a constant throttle. Get a gap with a ceiling so that you have a good frame of reference. Commit, no flinching, and have DJI instead of my EV100s.
Or just a wider lens, either to work.
Cool. Well, I think that I have a wealth of knowledge about how to execute this trick. I'm going to take it out into the field and try and get a better handle on it. We'll see if I can add it to my bag of tricks, see if I can master this trick a little bit better. MambaFPV, you're the shit, and I'm so happy that you decided to come onto the show.
Thanks for having me, man. It's been a blast.
All right. With that, I'm going to take it to the field. What's up, proppers and propettes? Here I am out in the field at one of my favorite spots that we like to call Wings. It is a hot and windy Minnesota day, but after talking to Bubby about how to do the precision power loop, I'm excited to put it to the test, and I have the perfect spot for it. I've got 1, 2, 3 perfect gaps that I'm going to be playing with here. I anticipate that I am going to crash a lot. Batteries, I've got equipment, and I've got willpower. So let's throw some carbon at some concrete and see if I can't get this trick in the bag. Yeet! So I'm about to get started, and now is about the time where I am trying desperately to remember what Bubby said to me. I think what we sort of settled on was make sure that you're lined up straight, try not to blip, try to do a steady throttle, and use the ceiling as a comparison point. Just gonna warm up a little bit. Oh, that's scary. These props have so much more thrust. So this is what I like to do sometimes when I'm trying to really space something out. Is I'll sort of see how much of a blip it takes. Oh my god, I'm already reasoning with myself on blips. So really, really not much thrust is going to be used to make this. Let's send one. Damn it. What happened there, though? I think it might have bounced off the back of the top crossbar. There was one. Hell yeah. Clock. Cleaned my clock. Oh, what was that sound? One of my moonlight props just exploded. So, what I would really love to see now that I've gotten a few of these is to see if I can put it in a line and see if I can do it repetitively. I can't decide which one would be best to practice first, because doing it repetitively is sort of a different game than just doing it the one time, if you know what I'm saying. So, like, guess I sort of have been putting it in a line, just a really short one. Let me see if I can get some loop-de-loops going. That was terrible. Gotta get real ginger-like on the sticks. Ceiling tap. Put it in the line, it wouldn't work. Oh no. Something's loose. Nothing was loose, it was just my battery lead getting caught in the props. I think we're good. Did I even do it? Damn it. So this is the problem that I'm running into here, is that there's a lip on the inside of the ceiling. I think that time I hit that, but it's making me want to shoot under instead of over, and because I don't have very much room, it's hard to compensate. But I'm just gonna take a second to sort of get myself a little bit more familiar with these props by sending some other shit. Look how sendy these props are. Sorry. Hey, that was pretty good. It absolutely wasn't the cleanest lines that I've ever put together, but you seen I put it in there twice, right? I put it in the more difficult category, and this is one that I really think could be integral to my flow. So I'm gonna keep going at it. So at this point in the video, things got really weird because I was approached by a self-identifying juggling hobo. Hiya. His name was Wood. We ended up having some great conversations, but the first thing that I heard from him was, oh, this guy's here alone, which, if you're a drone pilot in your goggles, or if you're a drone pilot in general, is maybe the worst way that you could ever be greeted. He was a very commanding presence. He wanted a lot of my time. He asked a lot from me, and he basically derailed this whole segment. I, at the time, tried to make it into content, and in review, it's just all so cringe. So, long story short, I did not get the precision power loop in the bag. I'm still working on this trick to this day. Bubby is a master of his craft. He deserves all the credit in the world. Here's what I ended up coming up with for this clip. So yeah, this is the end of prop gear as it stands. Maybe it's not, I don't know. If something crazy happens in the future and this is something that we can revisit, we're completely open to the idea. I don't want anyone to hold their breath. It just became too hard to do the show, but I miss doing it. I think about it a lot. I think about the great times that we had, and I have fond memories of all of it. I made a lot of friends making this show, people that have stuck with me and people who I'll never forget. The support has been overwhelming. You all have been so kind. What must be done at this time, though, is that we say goodbye. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for coming out. You guys are the coolest. Thanks for everything that you've given. We'll see you in the next life.